Welcome to our channel. Doctors Karen and Matilda here. We're happy to see our new and returning viewers and subscribers. Our clips are for educational purposes and we're trying our best to keep them under 10 minutes. We don't always succeed, but we mostly do. And we hope you're having a wonderful day. And we'd like to share our experiences with you as newbie graduates. Today we want to talk about burnout. And I remember looking online and seeing many anonymous posts of people who ask if they should drop out or could they drop out or they would like to drop out, but they don't know if it's possible. So it is a issue within academia. So we have a lot to go through. So let's get right into it. Okay, there are many types of burnout. In the clip preceding this one, we went through the types. However, we'll deal with two here uh, because I found, in particular, when I look at the different posts online and listen to people's story, these two seem to be the most common of the common causes, if that makes sense. So, overload burnout cause working too much, too hard, or under constant pressure. So you feel exhausted, irritable, you neglect your personal needs, and you also work under fatigue when you should be sleeping. You're not resting, you're thinking about the work. And then you get 4 hours in the night and do something, even though it may not be done correctly, you feel you have to keep doing. So you neglect your health and your sleep and so on. I went through that. So it's very familiar to me. I did that and exhausted myself. Solution: set clear boundaries and say no. Don't feel you have to offer to do everything when anybody asks you to volunteer. Uh, Even though the university is paying for a part of my tuition, I should not allow them to overwork me. That's the basic premises of this. Prioritize tasks and delegate if you can. If you can afford it, delegate your housework or part of it to someone to do it, or go to the laundry, for example, to do clothes for your family, or ask your spouse or if your children are old enough to assist. Take regular breaks. I remember someone pointing out in a mental health exercise that I attended, you can take some time out every maybe every hour or 4 or 5 minutes, or you could flex with it. You take one the first half hour, one the next 2 hours, and you assign the hours to your study. For example, I'm going to work on this paper for 5 hours, or I'm going to work on it for 2 hours for today, and I'm done. Regardless of where I am with it, I'm finished for the day. And if you're working, especially if you're working on the same program attached to your studies, communicate your workload to management. Ask them for some time off to do a particular part of your assignment that is very trying or challenging, or just take a break, apply for leave, because most postgrads are seen as jobs by the university. And I'll give you an example of what I mean here. I had a colleague who had a mental breakdown, and I noticed she was heading that way. And I tried to ask her why and how and so on, what causing it. I shouldn't ask why. I asked her what's causing it, and she said she works with her supervisor. She was in a ticklish position where the person supervising her work, she was also working daily with that person, and so she had a little bit of emotional uh, chaoticness and messiness that was affecting her mental health. Eventually, she had to take a year off. I Unfortunately I didn't see her afterwards. If she went back to the program or if she asked for a new supervisor. But I remember her story. Oh, I forgot to point out, this is what I wish I knew before doing my study series. And today we're looking at burnout. This week, I should say, we're looking at burnout. Then there's the flip side of the one we just did. We talked just now about overwork. Now this is under challenging. So, causes and feelings. You feel bored. You're not stimulated to anything. You feel unfulfilled or disinterested, or feelings of apathy. You hate where you are. You wonder if this is worth it. Because I've seen, especially on Quora, a site that a lot of people with academic issues would go to complain. A lot of people were saying they would drop out because they found it hard to change their supervisor or department, or the department they're in. They no longer feel challenged or valued there. So they've lost motivation and looking for distractions. And often people go the wrong way. They would turn to drugs, maybe get into fights. Before, because one of the stories I have here was a classmate. He was at the police station because he got into a fight because he woke up and he was bored and felt undervalued and bored at his program, which was a ridiculous way to rationalize a fight. But I understand from a mental health perspective. So some solutions: seek new challenges and responsibilities, pursue professional development, engage in hobbies or interests outside of work and classes, and job craft to find more meaning. One thing I have experiences on the challenge because I went to do my PhD after I had worked for over 20 years. So I found I want to do much more, and I was capable of doing much more than the program required of me. And I was way ahead sometimes of some of the classes I was doing, or I had actually taught some of the things that I had to go to classes as a requirement of the program. And of course, I was bored. But what I did was, instead of focusing on that I'm bored, I tried to see what was a new focus that they give me in the program. And of course, I joined lots of support groups online. I probably was in about 14 of them at one point. Huh? So you have to find ways to get yourself out of that funk, if you will. Some management hacks: practice self-care and prioritize personal needs. Set realistic goals and ask for help. That's support groups I talk about. Engage socially and find value in work. For example, if there are people who are new in the field, mentor them, or share experiences of value in the department, offer to work on a conference that the department is hosting. And of course, establish strong emotional boundaries. So you're not going to say yes to everything. You're not going to offer to everything, but you're going to pick the things that you know you're good at and won't interrupt your studies or your commitment to your scholarship. Some solution and hacks: be vigilant and self-assess to know where you are emotionally and how you feel about your program. I talk about joining support groups such as peer groups, writing groups, and so on, to keep yourself um, current and also to get the support. I know a writing group. Matilda and I could tell you about that writing group. Being in a writing group is very helpful to us. Maybe we do a clip entirely about the value of writing groups. And communicate to your supervisor on your needs and take a break if you need to. Do regular mental and physical health checks, and if possible, get a pet. And if you can, have a regular fitness routine. All other nice things to help you navigate through the difficult and isolated uh, study experiences at the postgrad level. In our next clip, we'll be answering viewers' questions, so remember to include yours in the comment section. Our playlist will be linked below in the description because we're compiling many clips now. And so remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and let's remember to make it a great week. From the desk of Dr. Karen and Matilda, bye.